It's another summertime fielding day across the Bluegrass State. We're tracking a cold front to change it up a little bit. Straight ahead. Stay with us.
A horrific scene on I-64 in Franklin County. 3 people died after being trapped inside a van that caught fire following a crash. Find out what investigators say caused the van to flip into the median. And a Lexington high school student is in trouble for bringing a loaded gun to school. How a teacher helped alert school police to the threat.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. We have another day of near record-setting highs taking place across the Bluegrass, but all of that is getting ready to change. We are getting ready to say goodbye to those temperatures and replace them with some scattered showers and possibly storms. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hi, Amber. Hope you're enjoying this warm start to November. I know a lot of folks are out there. They're tweeting me about how they're out in shorts and flip-flops and all of that. Yeah, we're going to change it up. It can't go on forever. You got to keep in mind it is still November, but a summertime look that is out there on that live sky cam right now. You've got a mix of sun and clouds. More clouds are now beginning to increase from west to east, with temperatures generally into the upper 70s to low 80s, tying another record in Lexington this afternoon at 82. 79 Danville and Somerset. Look to the west, though. We're much cooler around Owensboro, where Defender Radar Network is picking up on some thicker overcast and, yeah, a little rain already breaking out into the western part of Kentucky. That is ahead of our cold front that will make its way into town tomorrow. Warm high pressure has been giving us this awesome weather. Now, this isn't like the air coming in behind this front is all of a sudden just going to turn us just cold and take us straight into wintertime. We're not talking about that. It's just going to get us closer to normal as we go through the next couple of days. And that means the weekend may be a little on the normal side, dare I say. Amber, when I come back here in about 10 minutes, we've got an hour-by-hour forecast, not only for the next couple of days, but we've expanded that to include each and every hour of the upcoming weekend. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. 3 people were killed today after a fiery crash on Interstate 64. It happened just before 7 this morning in Franklin County near the Shelby County line. The sheriff says the van blew a tire, causing the driver to lose control. That's when the van went down an embankment and caught fire. As Sean Moody reports, 3 died. The driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. It's our top story at 4.
This is exit 53 on Frankfort's west side. The crash happened between this exit and exit 48, around the 49-mile marker. The Franklin County Sheriff thinks speed and a blown tire led up to that crash. The crash happened around 6:45 this morning. The sheriff said the van was traveling west along I-64 when the left front tire blew out. The van went off the left side of the road down into the median where it hit a tree. The sheriff said when first responders got to the scene, the van was burning. He said they were able to get 1 person out alive, the driver, but 3 other people died inside that van. I-64 was backed up in both directions for hours as a reconstruction team worked to figure out what happened and crews cleaned up the scene. They sent the van to the state medical lab for the tough task of getting those 3 people's bodies out.
Obviously, this is not the best place to be able to do that in the middle of the interstate. We can take them to the Cram Lab there and have a secure place to do that for the coroner and his staff to be able to work to get these bodies out and do it with dignity.
Our reconstruction team is still investigating the crash. Sheriff Melton said a preliminary investigation showed that speed and that blown tire were both factors. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And so far, the Franklin County coroner has not identified the people who died. A Tates Creek high school student is in jail for bringing a loaded gun to school. In an email, the school principal told parents an alert teacher noticed the student was agitated in class and notified school law enforcement. When the officer talked to the teen, they saw the handle of the gun in his pocket. Police arrested 18-year-old Lamar Sanford. He faces gun charges and resisting arrest. The school says Sanford told them he had the weapon for protection outside of school. You're going to hear from the principal about the situation ahead on WKYT News at 5. Customers and nearby construction workers are being credited for chasing down a suspect after an attack on a Lexington McDonald's worker. It happened about 8 this morning. Witnesses say a man walked into the McDonald's on Limestone with his pants sagging to the point that he was exposing himself. They say the manager asked the man to leave 3 times, which he eventually did, but then came back and attacked the manager. Several customers chased after the man, as well as 2 construction workers nearby. One of them took the man down. The manager was treated for minor injuries but is expected to be okay. We're working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A judge has decided a man accused of killing a 6-year-old Versailles boy is competent to stand trial. Ronald Exantis is accused of breaking into a Woodford County home and killing Logan Tipton last December. During his last hearing, a judge heard testimony from the psychiatrist for Exantis. During her testimony, she said she thinks Exantis does have some type of mental issue. We'll hear from Logan's family about the decision and when the trial will be held ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. The search for human remains continues today near the Valley View Ferry. Last week, investigators pulled a car and some bones from the Kentucky River. Lexington police and firefighters are back out there today. The Fayette County coroner says he is working with the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. We'll have an update on the investigation coming up at 5:30. Owners of a Lexington gas station have quite a mess on their hands. Police say a car slammed into the building. It happened at the Bluegrass Market on Squires Road near Manowar and Richmond Road. The owner of the store says the crash left him with thousands of dollars worth of damage. Police say it's not clear what led to the crash. They say the driver left the scene before officers arrived. Police are now searching for that driver. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Police have arrested the man wanted for questioning in the overnight shooting deaths of 2 Iowa police officers. The arrest of 46-year-old Scott Green ends an hours-long manhunt in and around Des Moines. Investigators are calling the attacks on the officers an ambush.
It doesn't look like there was any interaction between these officers and whoever the coward is that shot them while they sat in their cars.
The first officer was found dead just after 1. The second about 20 minutes later. At daybreak, police named Green a suspect. He was arrested a short time later, just miles from the crime scenes. So far, there's no word on a possible motive. Election Day is just 6 days away, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are not wasting any of the time they have left to campaign. Both are crisscrossing the country to make their final pitch to voters, especially those in battleground states. Steve Nannis has their report from Washington.
It's a race to the finish for presidential challengers Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
We are going to win back the White House.
We need to do everything we possibly can between now and the time the polls close.
And a fight for every vote.
We need more people to vote.
Show up early and vote.
Trump even telling early voters Tuesday in Wisconsin to go and change their vote if they voted for Clinton.
If you live here, or in Michigan, or Pennsylvania, or Minnesota, those 4 places, you can change your vote to Donald Trump.
The latest CNN poll of polls shows Clinton with a 5-point lead over Trump nationally, 47 to 42%. But the race has tightened in key battleground states, which could determine the winner. Clinton is up by only 2 points in Florida. Trump has a slightly larger 5-point lead in Arizona. Clinton has a 4-point advantage in Pennsylvania. Trump is up 6 points in Nevada. Those tight margins have the candidates and their surrogates hitting the battlegrounds hard in the final days. Trump and Vice President Biden are in Florida.
But we have 2 more today in Florida. Florida, Florida, Florida.
And Mike Pence is in Arizona.
6 days away from a great victory all across the state of Arizona and all across the United States of America.
That's where Clinton will also be campaigning late Wednesday night. In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
The White House announced this afternoon President Barack Obama will spend Monday, the final day before the election, campaigning for Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. Hulu announcing a deal to bring 35 networks to its subscribers. The details in Money Watch. And find out who is getting into the ugly holiday sweater business and how much it'll cost you.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back in. Gas prices in Lexington have been dropping the last week or so. That begins today's Money Watch. At some stations along Winchester Road here in Lexington, a gallon of unleaded was selling for less than $2. It's not clear if the gas pipeline explosion in Alabama will impact gas prices in Kentucky. AAA expects prices in the South to rise over the next week. Hulu is teaming up with Walt Disney and 21st Century Fox. The video streaming service says subscribers will have access to more than 35 networks, including Fox, ABC, and ESPN through Hulu's new live TV streaming service. It's set to debut early next year. Actor Whoopi Goldberg is showing off her holiday style with a new line of what she calls her ugly sweater collection. The sweaters are available starting today at Lord & Taylor. Each sweater will cost you about $139. The Cubs get a big win to take the World Series to Game 7, but we have an Indians player to thank for free tacos today. It is part of Taco Bell's Steal a Base, Steal a Taco promotion. Cleveland Indians shortstop Francisco Lindor stole second base in the bottom of the first inning in his team's Game 1 win over the Chicago Cubs. You can get your free Doritos Locos Taco today from 2 to 6 at participating restaurants. And if you want to see tonight's historic World Series finale in person, it is going to cost you big. StubHub can get you into Cleveland's Progressive Field for Game 7. The cheapest ticket, though, about $1,000 each, and you have to stand. And for a club level seat with all the food and drinks you want, you're going to have to pay $50 grand for it.
I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about in Nashville today for the CMA Awards, where everything is all abuzz. We're talking to nominee Kelsey Ballerini when we return here on WKYT.
Hey, everything is abuzz with a cold front heading into town for the day on Thursday. We'll track the impact on that with the hour-by-hour forecast next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A heck of a start to the month of November with record-setting temperatures over the first couple of days of the month. Gorgeous high pressure in place across the Carolinas, and watch how the streamlines are going around that. That's how the wind flows around high pressure, and for us, that is bringing that flow from the south and the southwest. Cold front is off across the plain states. That will eventually scoot on in here and change us up over the next few days. But right now, those strong southwesterly winds blowing those temperatures up into the upper 70s to low 80s. We're a little cooler than yesterday. Not that that means we're cool by any stretch of the imagination. More in the way of some clouds today that are continuing to come at us from the southwest. So you're going to get in on more clouds than clear this evening, and then the clouds thicken up later tonight. We can even squeeze out a sprinkle overnight. Then we got to wait until we get some showers and thunderstorms into town as we go through the day tomorrow with a cold front that looks to be a little later arriving tomorrow. So 65 to 70 southeastern Kentucky. You're going to hit 70 tomorrow before that front gets into town. But once the front makes its way through here, we'll go from the mid 60s into the upper 50s to low 60s. And by 11 o'clock tomorrow night, upper 40s and low 50s. Rainfall, don't expect a lot out of this. This is not a big rainmaker by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe a quarter of an inch for a few folks out there. A lot of the numbers are coming in with 1/10 of an inch or less. It's been a dry fall. It's going to continue for at least a little while longer. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice how the numbers don't move a whole lot. Numbers middle of the day jump up and then they jump back down as we go into the afternoon and evening with some leftover showers tomorrow evening into far southeastern Kentucky. 40s around to begin the day on Friday, and not a big recovery into the afternoon on Friday, with temperatures generally ranging from, look at that, 50 Pikeville to 56 into the Richmond area, 58 showing up into Campbellsville with Russell Springs at 57. So a chillier brand of air. A lot of times we just call that normal into November. High school football games Friday night, night out on the town. It's going to be a chilly one. As soon as the sun sets in this type of a pattern, those numbers are going to drop quickly. 30s, frost finally for some of you come Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, absolutely gorgeous with low and mid 60s for a high temperature. Saturday evening, those numbers drop into the low and mid 40s, heading out to Commonwealth Stadium, 40 to 45 showing up by the fourth quarter. And into the day on Sunday, a touch of frost to begin, breezy conditions. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Blustery, breezy conditions. We're back into the 60s. You get the idea. Weekend weather looks absolutely gorgeous as of right now. Next chance for a chilly shower or two may come late election day. Hopefully it holds off until Wednesday and or Thursday. Timing of that obviously is still up in the air just a little bit. Let's check on traffic. Here's Officer Don.
There's an injury collision on Mercer at Fairman Road. At least one lane is blocked there on Mercer because of that crash, and it's causing issues both directions. No major problems on the circle itself. Our drive times right now to Nicholasville still less than 13 minutes. To Versailles, holding about 11 or so. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Last year, she was a first-time nominee, and now she is back to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Country Music Awards. Our Deanne Stevens is out and about with Kelsey Ballerini. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are in Nashville. Big CMA Awards, 50th anniversary of the CMA Awards tonight. Yeah. And this young lady, holy cow, 2 nominations, which is humongous. Female vocalist and new artist. Yes. Kelsey Ballerini is with us. And Kelsey, congratulations first off.
Thank you.
This has been a huge year for you. Talk a bit about your year and what you have looked forward to as far as the CMA 50th anniversary tonight.
It's going to be a huge show. I mean, I got to go do my rehearsal yesterday, and just like seeing who's going to be in the crowd tonight, just seeing all the legends that are going to be there, and I mean, it's celebrating 50 years of country music, and the fact that I get 3.5 minutes to sing my song that just went #1 is like, yeah. It's crazy. It's amazing.
And you said you are up second for performance, right?
Second. I'm the second performance of the night, which means I can get nervous, do it, and then sit in my seat and be a fangirl all night, which is like my jam.
Is there anybody you cannot wait to see tonight?
Well, Rascal Flatts is right there, and I just got off tour with them, and I missed them, so I'm going to go attack them in about 5 seconds. Yeah. I'm very excited about it.
And you're going to see them as well as many others. Listen, when you come to Lexington, or when we come to you, we bring treats. So from Keeneland, we got a little koozie and some Kentucky, old Kentucky chocolates.
Truffles?
Moonshine truffles, my dear. Yeah, they're as good as they smell. Oh, man. So good luck at these CMA Awards. Put those in your back pocket, all right? Good to see you.
Bye, guys.
Kelsey Ballerini. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about in Nashville. Back to you guys.
A woman who suffers a miscarriage may be at risk of developing PTSD. That's ahead in Better Living. And if you don't get enough sleep at night, you might eat more the next day. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $198 million, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $47 million. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Some women trying to have a baby might suffer from PTSD. A new study finds women may be at risk of PTSD after a miscarriage. British researchers say 4 in 10 women in the study met the criteria for PTSD, including re-experiencing their pregnancy loss, nightmares, even flashbacks. A new study links your sleeping and eating habits. New research finds not getting enough sleep may cause people to eat more the next day. Doctors in the UK looked at 11 previous studies and found sleep-deprived people consumed on average an extra 385 calories the following day, much of it coming from higher fat, lower protein foods. Overweight and obesity rates among children rise during the summer break, not during the school year. That's according to a new study from the University of Texas. Researchers tracked the body mass index of more than 18,000 early elementary school children for 3 years and found that children gain weight faster during the summer. Meal replacement shakes and bars have been a growing trend for folks looking to shed some weight, but they remain controversial among nutritionists. Are they good for you? Are they even effective? Kim Hutcherson breaks down the debate.
Soylent is the latest brand to promise all the nutrients you need in just one bottle or bar. Meal replacement diets are popular with people too busy to sit down and eat a meal. But Soylent has recently made some people sick, and the company is offering full refunds. The nutrition world remains divided on the meal replacement trend. They could be beneficial if taking the place of unhealthy food items in your diet. Nutritionists say meal replacements can also be a great way to jumpstart weight loss. They help with portion control, vegetable are high in protein and low in sugar. However, solid foods are important because they stimulate the movement of muscles in your digestive tract. Experts warn that meal replacements tend to lack the fiber and good bacteria needed to keep you healthy. Psychologically speaking, drinks can also leave you feeling unsatisfied. If you really want to try meal replacements, dietitians suggest moderation. Try a shake for breakfast and traditional healthy meals for lunch and dinner. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, we want to head over to Chris for another check of the weather. And Chris, we better enjoy it while we can, right? These temperatures.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to see the temperatures take a little dive over the next few days, but the dive only gets us to normal-ish, if not still a smidge above for a day or two coming up later this week and especially this weekend. But that just shows you how ridiculously warm thermometers have been here for October, actually September, October, now into the first couple of days of November. It's day 2 of low 80s to start out the 11th month of the year into central and eastern Kentucky. Mix of sun and clouds showing up with each and every sky that we are looking at here across central and eastern Kentucky, and that trend is what's going to carry us through the next couple of hours. If you're looking for precipitation out there right now, you're not going to find any across central and eastern Kentucky. You got to go back into the western part of the state, and even there, it's just a shower or two around Owensboro. That stuff is likely to dissipate before it gets into central Kentucky. Our action later tomorrow will come from a cold front that's out across the Plain States. By the way, that front is producing some severe weather into parts of Missouri and Illinois right now. The air coming in behind that just is not very cold at all. We're going to go from warm to seasonally chilly as we go from Thursday into the day on Friday. When I come back in just a few minutes, we'll talk about the possibility of seeing some normal weather for the first time in a while here across central and eastern Kentucky. WKYT News at 4:30 begins right now.